Welcome, students! Today I will tell you why is ocean water salty. Let's know about this in detail. The oceans cover about 70% of the Earth's surface, and that about 97% of all water on and in the Earth is saline. There's a lot of salty water on our planet. By some estimates, if the salt in the ocean could be removed and spread evenly over the Earth's land surface, it would form a layer more than 500 feet thick, about the height of a 40-story office building. But where did all this salt come from? If you get into folk stories and mythology, you will see that almost every culture has a story explaining how the oceans became salty. The answer is really very simple. Salt in the ocean comes from rocks on land. Here's how it works. The rain that falls on the land contains some dissolved carbon dioxide from the surrounding air. This causes the rainwater to be slightly acidic due to carbonic acid. The rain physically erodes the rock, and the acids chemically break down the rocks and carries salt and minerals along in a dissolved state as ions. The ions in the runoff are carried to the streams and rivers and then to the ocean. Many of the dissolved ions are used by organisms in the ocean and are removed from the water. Others are not used up and are left for long periods of time where their concentrations increase over time. The two ions that are present most often in seawater are chloride and sodium. These two make up over 90% of all dissolved ions in seawater. By the way, the concentration of salt in seawater, salinity, is about 35 parts per thousand. Rivers and surface runoff are not the only source of dissolved salts. Hydrothermal vents are recently discovered features on the crest of oceanic ridges that contribute dissolved minerals to the oceans. These vents are the exit points on the ocean floor from which seawater that has seeped into the rocks of the oceanic crust has become hotter, has dissolved some of the minerals from the crust, and then flows back into the ocean. With the hot water comes a large amount of dissolved minerals. Estimates of the amount of hydrothermal fluids now flowing from these vents indicate that the entire volume of the oceans could seep through the oceanic crust in about 10 million years. Thus, this process has a very important effect on salinity. The reactions between seawater and oceanic basalt, the rock of ocean crust, are not one way, however. Some of the dissolved salts react with the rock and are removed from seawater.